My name is Bobby Allen, and I teach American Studies at UNC Chapel Hill. And I've been at the university for 39 years. I'm also the faculty lead for the Community Histories Workshop. I think at its simplest, the Community Histories Workshop works at the intersection of place and history and experience. In particular, the Community Histories Workshop works with partners in local communities to take iconic structures, historical structures in those communities that are in the process of being repurposed, and to make those repurposing activities a catalyst for community history and community archiving. All of the work that we do in the Community Histories Workshop is collaborative. That's where we start. And so we begin the collaboration within the Community Histories Workshop by bringing together faculty, staff, students, graduate students. We have a performing artist in residence this year. We have a senior fellow who for 12 years was the director of the Ackland Art Museum. So we bring all of these experiences and perspectives to bear upon all the projects that we do. We're also uniquely positioned to do this work because of the place we occupy in a great public research university. And so we have partners across campus whom we mobilize in relation to the projects that we're working on. Best example, the longest running of our partnerships is with the library, and particularly with Wilson Library and its Southern Historical Collection and North Carolina Collection. We work with those folks almost every day and have since the moment that we began. The CHW currently has two major ongoing projects, both of which are around the repurposing of iconic sites. One is in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and it is around the repurposing of Rocky Mount Mills, which is the second oldest mill in the state of North Carolina. It was built in 1818 and operated until 1996. It is now being repurposed as apartments, commercial space, retail, leisure by Capital Broadcasting, which also did the American Tobacco Complex. So the work that we're doing for them is the kind of standard scope of work that we do on all of our projects that starts with asking the question, where is the material history of this place? Where does it survive? How can we locate it? What shape is it in? How can we get it into a form that more people can access and use it? We ask, where are the materials relating to the history of the mill that are not in archives, that may be in shoeboxes under someone's bed or in the attic or in the garage? We also ask, where is the intangible heritage for these sites? Meaning, where are the stories and the histories and the memories of people who can make the connection between Rocky Mount as it is today and Rocky Mount as it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. We're also very keenly aware that the histories and the stories of a place like Rocky Mount Mills are multiple. This is a multivocal history that we want to try to recapture. And we are particularly sensitive to voices and stories that have not been given the opportunity to be heard. And we want to try to bring those stories and those memories back into the history, the experience of history that people will have at Rocky Mount Mills. The second project that we're working on is with the City of Raleigh and with the Dix Park Conservancy Board. And it's about the repurposing of another iconic site in North Carolina, Dix Park. This is a 308-acre site that sits within less than a mile of downtown Raleigh. It was for 150 years in the 18th and early 19th century a plantation in Raleigh, the Hunter Plantation. And then in 1856, The state of North Carolina founded the North Carolina Asylum for the Insane on that site, what became known as Dix Hospital. And Dix Hospital was the first and primary insane asylum for the state of North Carolina between 1856 and its closure in 2012. This 308-acre site, the hospital, 80 other buildings on the site, a 900-person cemetery, are all being repurposed as what the city of Raleigh is calling a destination park, meaning that they want Dix Park to be to Raleigh what Central Park is to New York. So this is a very ambitious long-term plan to make a statement about the relationship of landscape to city in the city of Raleigh. What the CHW is doing in conjunction with the Dix Park Conservancy Board and the city of Raleigh is again to try to recover the material history of this place. Where does that lie and how can we get access to it? We're focused right now on the early history of the hospital between 1856 and 1917 because we can access an extraordinary resource for understanding that moment of the history of that place. There are publicly accessible patient intake records that run from the very opening of the hospital and its first patient right up to 1917 when a 100-year embargo on the release of patient information falls into place. So we've had a team of undergraduate students and graduate students and staff making first a spreadsheet and now a database of all 7,400 individuals who became patients at Dorothea Dix Hospital between its opening and the end of 1917. And we think this is the first such database that's ever been done, comprehensive database that's ever been done of a 19th century insane asylum in the United States. So in addition to refining that database and making it more useful, we are also asking the question of ourselves and of our colleagues. Having such a resource entails significant ethical and professional responsibilities on us. How should this be used? By whom should it be used? And for what purpose? And so we're working with colleagues in the Department of Social Medicine, the Center for Bioethics, the medical school, the Department of Philosophy, medical anthropologists, to both help us come to terms with this unique resource, but also to help us understand what the ethical implications of this kind of work are. The work that the CHW has done to this point over the last 2.5 years has all been work that's come to us. It's been someone who represented an organization in a community that saw an opportunity to mount a community history and community archiving project, knew about the work that we were doing and came to us to talk to us about the possibility of extending our work there. So I suspect that as our work develops that it will be in part a result of responding to these opportunities and these serendipities that have certainly benefited us to this point.